What was the main idea behind Hacken?
Make scammers, fraudsters, hackers' life difficult.
What is your current stance on Ukrainian cyber defense?
Cybersecurity is not the priority.
Ukraine has honestly like a lot of thousand and brilliant people in cybersecurity.
Who is the most successful cybersecurity state right now? Obviously, North Koreans.
Do you think people will benefit more or suffer more?
It's harder and harder for juniors to get a job in cybersecurity companies.
Misconception about blockchain security.
That the blockchain is secure.
And if you could hack into any system in the world, which one would you pick?
Russian Federation.
Thank you for coming here today, Dima. For those who don't know, Dima is the CEO and founder of Hacken, the leading Web3 company in the biggest bug bounty platform in Eastern Europe. Dima, today I want to understand a little bit how it's possible to build something of this magnitude in the industry, which is only, like an industry that's only growing, starting, and it hasn't become mainstream yet. Also, I'd love to understand a bit of the external factors that have influenced and shaped your journey along the way and have turned Hacken into what it is today. So we'd love to know, to start with, what experiences or roles did you undertake that drew you to cybersecurity specifically?
Hi, everybody. Um, Thank you for inviting. Um, I don't know. It's like was luck. Uh, my previous experience was that I was finding mistakes in financial statements of big companies, finding digital mistakes, digital bugs is something at different level, which I liked, and that's why I shifted my career into cybersecurity. I mean,
Wow, that's very interesting. And when did this occur? If you could tell us a bit more about it.
well, I've spent 8 years at Deloitte. I started my career like being a financial and controls auditor. Then I went to work for Ukrainian government for the company called Ukroboronprom. And I went to do like internal audits there to find some problems with procurement and some other stuff. And at some point, I found too much that they asked me not to search anymore. And at that point, yeah, I would just wanted to be helpful for to Ukraine, and that's why I took initiative to start the cybersecurity division at Ukroboronprom because I saw a lot of perspectives there.
Yeah, no, I can completely understand that. So cybersecurity wasn't what it is today. Perhaps if you could tell me a bit more about what was Web3 security like in Ukraine in 2017.
There was no Web3 security in 2017. There was, not in Ukraine and even in the world. There's nothing. It's like in
And
2017, it was just like the first ICO boom that the whole world found out what is crypto. It was pure Wild West. It's still Wild West, but at
yes,
that time it was even worse.
yeah, I can agree with you on that. And how do you think this upbringing of working at Deloitte, for 8 years, right, and having this background influence you to take on technology and security?
I think Deloitte backgrounds and generally it creates the it creates the mindset that's how things should be working and in the transparent and fair way. And when I saw crypto, uh, uh, I and security in crypto, I thought that this is this is not right, and this is not fair, not transparent, and there should be some changes in this industry. And I think the motivation to change the industry, that was like the strongest one.
Yeah, yeah, I can only imagine that all of those things would make you think, okay, what can I do to contribute? And how and when did you come up with this idea of Hacken?
So, um, we basically I was following the crypto space, and but at the same time we have a job like a cyber like building a cybersecurity center super from. But the main idea to make the shift and to quit happens during the virus beta A. It was the time when um, like a lot of Ukrainian infrastructure was damaged by the um, malware, which and one of the biggest shipment aircraft manufacturing factory under Ukроборонпром Antonov, they suffered a lot. And while we did make certain solution how to decrease the damage, and we wanted to make it for free. Uh, I faced certain I faced certain obstacles from the people who were decision makers there,
Mhm.
and they didn't want anything for free, and they wanted to buy some equipment and to get their rebates from the government money. And that was the turning point when I decided, okay, I'm not gonna waste any of my time on this because it's just there are other areas where I can put my energy and try to improve the world.
Yeah, there you realized that there was other ways you could contribute more. And when you started that, when you had this idea initially, did you fundraise? And if you did, how
Well,
much was it?
again, we were just lucky. So we
Okay.
created the pitch deck,
Hmm.
and we went to a pitching competition. And that was that time when from the stage, we earned we won the second prize, and it was 33 bitcoins. And the guy from the stage, like some judge, he said he gonna invest half mil, but like with the obligation that we're gonna make an ICO. And we agreed, and yeah, so we gathered in total around 252 BTC, but the price was much smaller than now,
Yeah.
and 5,000 Ether. And that was our fundraised money and the only fundraising money that we had in hacking history.
So that built a lot of momentum, right? To keep it going. And so when you founded Hacken in Ukraine, was it difficult back then to explain to people what it was?
Close to impossible. So like bug bounty, like okay, there were already Hacker One and Bug Crowd,
Hmm.
but I mean, I wouldn't say that like we from the day one we tried to be international company. So in Ukraine, obviously there is still people don't know what is bug bounty. Only some maybe media guys they say sometimes about it, but again, I remember facing the same challenges. It's like we were offering free of charge bug white label bug bounty to Ukrainian government, and again, nobody wants to have free of charge nothing.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit wrong the system. But even for Web3 space, the bug bounty was very new
Hmm.
word, and nobody was even nobody was doing anything like related to security at that time. So it was very hard to explain. People liked the idea, but there was no business opportunity there.
Yeah, I can see that. And was it hard to build a team back then of people who would work alongside you in the project?
Oh, I mean, I don't think that building the team is a hard, like, uh, we like to believe in people. I mean,
Mhm.
sorry, I like to believe in people, and when you empower people, they judge you as your company. So, I mean, we don't have this issue of having the problem building the team. Sorry, just a second. Sure, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing that you're like you decided to believe, in your team. And so for those who are unfamiliar and don't really know what hacking is, what's the main idea behind it? Like if you perhaps could walk me a bit through that.
I mean, like we wanted to issue the want to create a bug bounty, like
Mm-hmm.
decentralized bug bounty, where the native currency gonna be their own token, and where this token will guess will will be the center of like people's interests in terms of building value
Mm-hmm.
by providing excellent services and by giving the education and job to ethical hackers. So at that point of time, it like uh, it sounded realistic. Yeah, I think the in after a lot of like after 8 years, I can say that probably it was not realistic, it was idealistic. Like the human nature when it comes to tokens and money is different rather than we thought. But in crypto, when you have a token for already 8 years, like we do,
Yeah.
uh, if you want to survive, you need to adapt. So
Yes.
we adapted and changed utility and positioning quite a few times. So to be within the trends and to be so that the token have the value.
Of course. And so, what do you think is the main key thing that allowed you to build a competitive advantage over other hundreds of, Web3 security experts, but yeah, and the other leaders in the space?
Well, I think that's it's only like of course there were few turning moments
Hmm.
that empowered our brand. But and I would say it might be luck, you know, but generally, and I believe in luck, but generally, luck smiles only to those guys who is persistent and consistent and hardworking. So I believe our mission never changed. We are believers in crypto space, and we want crypto space to be safer,
Yeah.
and we continuously make scammers, fraudsters, hackers' life difficult, uh, and and that's what we do, you know. And sometimes some of our ideas, our products, they are accepted by the markets, and that builds the brick builds the block for our brand, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, and you mentioned that there are some key turning points, that differentiated your
Yeah.
company. Could you tell me about the biggest success or a time where Hacken made an intervention and it prevented a significant security breach?
I mean, yes, well, I mean, like there were a lot of like in at the bug bounty, yeah, we have
Yeah.
like tens of thousands of vulnerabilities, like thousands of criticals also. You cannot say so all of them prevented from huge hacks. But generally, I would say that the changes in industry that have impacted the most, I would say in 2018 we were quite loud about of misleading information at CoinMarketCap for the trading volume of exchanges
Hmm.
because it led to like basically fraud and scams. And we managed to create with CoinMarketCap Data Accountability and Transparency Alliance, uh, which which pushed all the exchanges to start reporting on the order books, and
Hmm.
there were certain volume adjusted metrics. That was a big change in the industry. And second, the introduction of the trust score with CoinGecko, when we made assessment of all exchanges security, it's like more than 600, and that created the loop when exchanges started to make regular pen tests, bug bounties, and certificates. And up until, of course, last Friday when Bybit got really hacked, but it wasn't Bybit that got hacked, it was Safe wallet, Safe multi-sig wallet that was hacked, but the Bybit was the main victim of losing 1.5 billion. Um, so, so yeah, we believe that that's cooperation with CoinGecko have saved a lot of money because exchanges started to pay way more attention to cybersecurity.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's huge, like the change that you're making in the industry. And so when you take on these different initiatives for bug bounty, how many, let's say, security specialists do you have in your team? Or do you have any independent hackers that you hire?
No, like we have, of course, in-house. So Hacken is 130 people now, and
Well,
so around 60 are engineers.
mm-hmm.
Um, and but when you talk about the HackenProof, the registered hackers are around 40,000. The ones that submitted at least one report is around 7 or 8,000.
Wow. And so in 2017, you launched the conference on the world's largest aircraft. So that was built in Ukraine, the Antonov 225 Mriya. Um, can you tell us a bit more about it?
Mriya, no, yeah. So that's kind of the hacker mentality, and hacking mentality. So we are not afraid to do some crazy stuff. And yeah, we those money that we spend that we get uh, on the pitching competition, we spend it on marketing campaign.
Hmm.
Um, um, and the key element of this marketing campaign was to invite 20 best hackers from all over the world, show them Ukraine, have some on-site bug bounty competition,
Yeah.
and um, and to show them around. And luckily, and that what happens. And luckily, we were the I had connection with Ukроборонпром, and they allowed me to rent the Antonov for this one-day event and Mriya. And we were also very lucky that exactly that day Steve Wozniak was in Kiev, and
Yeah.
we invited him, and he came. That was Everybody was very happy to see him.
Yeah, I can imagine. How did you manage to get him to visit this?
I knew people he, uh, who he came for the business forum
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
same date, and in the morning, yeah, like we it wasn't his agenda, but we were not sure if he will come or not. But he came. He said, I wanted to meet ethical hackers because I was one of the first ethical hackers myself, and a very energetic guy. I
Yeah.
remember that day very clearly.
Yeah, I can imagine he related right to the cause and the change that you were making. And if we can ask you a question like how much did the renting cost or how did you get permission to do this?
Yeah, so permission, yeah, it's like connections. But the cost, yeah, I think it was around, was that, I think it was around maximum $10,000.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was around $7 or $8,000.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's worth it to pull out that stunt, differentiated you. But how did you
And it's like
feel?
it's the military object, so I have to
Yeah.
collect all the passports. So I
Yes.
have somewhere Steve Wozniak passport.
Yeah, that's quite the thing.
I'm joking. I
Um,
deleted it, of course. We deleted everything, of
yeah,
course.
because security. Understand. Um,
DPR, yeah.
but now on a more like sensitive note, how did you feel when the missile hit the Mriya?
I mean, you cannot describe all the feelings that we had the first days of the war. It was, I think, the memory is deleting, but like the whole months, the whole, like I would say, like first 3 months is up until first 3 months is they were like one never-ending day. So
Yeah,
yeah, everybody was just there were so much bad things happening that you either do something or you are like or you're depressed. So you don't have any so we were just doing something.
yeah, yeah. You were creating yeah, the company, right? So I can imagine that's very tough for everyone. But let's talk a bit about HackenProof. It's has become the biggest Web3 bug bounty platform in Eastern Europe. Could you explain
Yeah,
us?
I would say even probably in Europe. Like maybe yes, we hack similar size, but I mean
Mhm.
like in I think we are one of the biggest. Well, in Eastern Europe, obviously, yes, but I think even in Europe, it's legit to say that we are one of the biggest.
Yeah, that's a big accomplishment. Could you tell us a bit more how it operates and the significance that it has in the cybersecurity ecosystem?
I mean, it's a bug bounty, so that it this business is um it's very low margin business, and it's not sexy business in terms of the profit and revenue at all. But people who are involved, they enjoy the company. They uh, they kind of own it, and you know, and everybody who is like working on HackenProof, they are growing professionally very quickly, and this is very valuable because because HackenProof is working with top clients and top hackers are submitting reports and you are reviewing these reports. You learn like uh, very fast. But generally, yes, we do not only bug bounties, we also do the crowdsourced pen tests, some
Hmm.
some other security services that uh, clients want to order. But for some, we see that some big corporate clients, they
Yeah.
already use us kind of like not only external vulnerability management platform, but also internal.
Hmm.
So they like the product, they like that we have all the integrations with Jira, with Slack, with different uh, like day-to-day apps,
Yeah.
and they it's quite sticky. It's quite sticky the platform.
Yeah. And what do you
But
think
again,
motivates? Yeah,
from the revenue point of view, this business is
not it.
no, it's not sexy
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, it takes a special person, I think, to take responsibility for the security of individuals. What do you think it's that motivates your team, these ethical hackers that go on to take this job and are participating actively in the HackenProof different initiatives?
Look, if your question is why hackers with these magical skills do white hat stuff, not black hat stuff, I would say that people are generally good, and I would say that as in the regular life, you see, I don't know, maybe like 2-3% of people are criminals. I don't know what is the exact percentage. So the same applies to these people with these magical skills. So most of the guys who knows security and coding, they don't want to cross this line.
Yeah.
So they want to make money in a legit way. And
Hmm.
and bug bounties allow them to do it. So so if you're good, you can make million a year for sure. So and million a year, it's a good enough to build a new life.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah. And could you perhaps tell us how HackenProof compares to Immunify, one of your competitors? And like, what are
Mhm.
the key distinctions between both?
Um, I would say the main one is that they had the fundraise and they employ a little bit more people, uh, and they had money to spend. We didn't have this money.
Yeah.
I mean, in the beginning we did, but then we had to bootstrap and tighten our budget. So Hacken Proof is like it's I don't know, it's almost spending all what we are earning for the year. Um, so we don't have those budgets, but so that means that Imunify has a little bit better market presence.
Hmm.
Um, but I think from the product point of view and all the inscription that custom inscription that we are doing and customizations and the integrations, I think we're a little bit ahead.
Yeah.
But from the and and because we are I think a little bit better cost optimized, I think
Hmm.
we were able to compete with them on prices.
Yeah, that's huge. And could you perhaps share an example of a critical vulnerability that you discovered through HackenProof?
I don't know. Um, I remember I think there was one at Aurora or near where basically the guy found a way how to mint tokens, existing tokens, without bypassing the wallets of the creator, and that could have serious damage to the whole protocol and ecosystem.
Yeah,
And the guy got rewarded half a mil or
yeah.
even 1 mil, I don't remember. And then he was so happy that 10% he donated to Ukraine to support Ukraine.
Wow, that's yeah, that's really humble of him to do something like that. And would you say that that was the biggest bounty that was paid, or has it been more bigger bounties?
No, I think the biggest payout was 1 million at
Wow.
HackenProof.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of money, right? But you're contributing
It's
to
a
a
lot of
good
money.
cause in the end. And yeah, contributing to Ukraine, I think, yeah, that's very, very memorable. So now I'd like to discuss a little bit about the war in Ukraine. I saw that your team moved to Lisbon. Can you tell me how that happened? Was it because you
Mhm.
realized that the war, like, and
Mhm.
everything that was going on, that you might never be able to return to Ukraine?
Oh, sure. So we at that point of time we were only 45 people,
Hmm.
and again it was just luck. So we obviously we read the news and we had some people in Kharkiv, and the risk that Kharkiv gonna be attacked was quite significant, and we and Kiev as well. And and we had the opportunity. We had some money on our accounts, on our balance, and we just gave money to everybody and say leave immediately. Like if we gave them money on Monday morning, and on Friday we said that everybody should be out from Ukraine.
Yeah.
So almost everybody left. So left around 10 days before the war. And yeah, we met the war in Barcelona.
Yeah, that's quite unfortunate. How did you think the war impacted Hacken and both as a company and as a team?
The team, obviously, we became a family. Because, um, as a company, it gave us a certain boost in terms of international business development for sure. We
Yeah,
grew in size. We became international. So like right now, Ukrainians are still dominant, but not like there are another like 25 nationalities working with Hacken. So so we became like really international company.
and after the war started, you helped Russia fight in the cyberspace, which was incredible. Did you receive an invite from the government or someone important, or was it your own initiative to do this?
No, no. There is of course its own initiative.
Hmm.
Like you don't need special invitation. You can wait for the rest of your life to wait
Yeah,
for an invitation. It's like it was a moment to act. And we were like acting on the edge, yeah, like a lot of people, that didn't act were saying, you will regret, you will have problems afterwards. This cannot be done. This is against law, or something, something. It's like
yeah.
we didn't listen to these guys, we just acted.
Yeah, I think that's really great. And as part of your defensive actions, you created the Liberator DOS platform and another program called for Ukraine Cyber Defense, Stop the War. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
No, I can tell about there were like two main things. So, first is that we have uh, those DDoS
Yeah.
stressing tool,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so that we like it's one of the offering to our clients, like to check what is the DDoS resistance, and we
Mm-hmm.
basically we have announced, I think it was the first day of the war, that from now this everybody you can download this tool,
Okay.
and we are going to coordinate the massive attacks on Russian media critical infrastructure. And hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians they downloaded our app. There was also IT guilds of Ukraine who improved within like days our app that is like scalable, and we were able to orchestrate the biggest DDoS attacks in history with this tool, and it was also it's still actually we gave this tool, which is already a community project. We are not involved. The community still is very active,
Okay.
but from our point of view, but what was the most amazing thing is that this app was downloaded by people who for the housewives, for grandparents, for a lot of people who wanted to fight back and they didn't know how, and they became members of the community, and they were seeing that with their phone they are attacking Kremlin website, and they were feeling happy about it.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
they could. Yeah.
that was very important. Uh, and also we announced at HackenProof two bug bounty programs. One is on critical infrastructure of Russian Federation and on critical
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure of Ukrainian Federation. And that was unpaid bounty. We didn't pay for it, only some medals afterwards. But
Yeah.
But the Backraut and Hacker one,
Mm-hmm.
the most famous bug bounty platforms, they both reposted and supported this. And our bugs that we received on Russian infrastructure, we securely transferred to Ukrainian special forces, let's say like this. And the ones that on Ukrainian critical infrastructure, we were transferring also to special departments, so to timely fix it.
Wow, that's really incredible to do all that work, to be honest. Um, so what is your current stance on Ukrainian cyber defense? And if you were in charge, how would you improve it?
I would say right now, um, I would say generally, the Ukrainian-Russian war, it's the importance of this, um, the importance of cyber security has shifted, like the domains of importance.
Yeah,
So surveillance, of course, is number one, but there are already, ways how to protect the really sensitive information from both sides.
yeah.
Like the remaining didn't prove that much of effort versus costs and effort versus the result. So okay, like DDoS is already like out of scope. It's like not interesting.
Mhm.
Deface, which also was very like popular in the beginning of the war, and a lot of people were trying to do deface. Um, it's also it's like doesn't worsen effort anymore. Maybe for fun. Um, but like I mean, the I don't want to say it, but from the government point of view, I think cybersecurity is not the priority.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of right. It's way more important to focus on anti-drones. Yeah, a lot of hackers they shifted to jamming industry. Like because it's a lot about security, IT security, and it's good. I,
Yeah.
I, it's way more important.
Okay. And how do you think red teaming and penetration testing in this case will make a difference? And if it could make any difference, what do you find like most, yeah, what aspects are more useful for cyber defense in this case?
Mm, that's a difficult question. I mean, you have to in information security, you have to understand what information you need to defend.
Hmm.
And then red teaming is just one of the instrument how you are defending this information.
Okay.
So it's it's just a component, but there are
Hmm.
a lot of other components.
And how do you think Hacken is contributing so far to bolstering or increasing Ukraine cyber defenses during all of
Already
this
know how
challenging
our job is
times?
done. Unfortunately, we are not doing anything already. I mean, we do. There are sometimes we have some projects, um, and we execute it with all the best skills, defending some sensitive uh, products, some sensitive information. Of
Hmm.
course, I mean, because we're working as one of the vendors. No important role as we had in the beginning of the war.
Yeah. And Ukraine has honestly like a lot of thousand of brilliant people in cybersecurity. How do you think Do you think at some point that Ukraine will become one of the top cybersecurity states?
Oh, I think this is false statement, to be honest. Like
Okay.
who is the most successful cybersecurity state right now? Obviously, North Koreans. Yeah? They were able to do this crazy hack Bybit for 1.5 billion. Um, I think um, it's not about the talents; it's about the business environment. And I
Okay.
don't. And for and in Ukraine, there is not much companies who
Hmm.
give the opportunity to grow professionally. Obviously, Hacken is one of it
Yeah.
because you cannot get this experience of becoming uh, the triage manager and grow so fast as the like for example our triage manager the who was in the company for 2 years. Um, he went to work. He went as a CISO, and he's very young guy, as a CISO of national postage, and with the five times most salary. You know. And they were hunting him, and we couldn't resist. But um, and and we couldn't give him the he was living in he is living in Ukraine. We couldn't give
Hmm.
him the guarantee that he will not get into army, and this national postage could give him this guarantee. And he said that when he was leaving, that my decision to leave is not because of the salary. I love HackenProof, but because of I don't want to go to army.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, generally, yeah, in Europe, in other parts of the world, it's more opportunities for young talents to grow. Um, we don't have so many jobs in
Yeah.
cybersecurity.
Yeah. I can completely understand that. And so far as and like regulation, surveillance, and this future of security as a whole, what do you think with the development, of AI? Do you think people will benefit more or suffer more?
Um, First of all, AI is obviously changing the security, like the cybersecurity industry a lot. Like in general, cybersecurity industry is a lot about automation,
Yeah.
but AI is even, but people that you need people to use these tools, and with the AI, you don't already need people to use tools.
Yeah.
So it's it's gonna be harder and harder for junior. Sorry to say it, yes, maybe, but it's gonna be harder and harder for juniors to get a job in cybersecurity companies simply because
Hmm.
like AI can do their work. But what I can recommend is that um, every junior cybersecurity expert should utilize AI to learn and build his own tool set.
Yes.
Um, but for the what do you mean for the privacy? Um,
Yeah.
uh, I mean, whoever wants to remain private, like it, of course, it's harder and harder to remain private
Yes.
in the space. It's like it's already
Yeah.
close to impossible.
Yes.
Um, so it's just the reality. It's like you can always buy an alternative laptop, set
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
everything privately there, and be a privacy geek with this alternative laptop.
Yeah.
But still, there are some risks.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like the VPN will protect you, right, from government surveillance. But what do you think? what do you think like normal citizens can do to protect themselves and stop being controlled digitally?
Not using social media.
I feel like that's a bit hard with this generation. We live on our phones, and it's quite difficult. Um, but what emerging technologies do you see growing besides AI now that you're in this space? And do you think will shape the future for the next decade, let's say?
So, isn't AI? Do we need something more than that?
I mean,
I
I don't
mean,
know.
no, there is no, from what I researched, there is still no quantum threat. There is nothing. So
Okay.
marketing bullshit. So at the moment, the humanity is not even close to solve this problem.
Yeah.
Um, so, but even if there is the post-quantum encryption is not a rocket science. So I think the main threat and opportunity, of course. So it's a big opportunity is AI, and everybody should learn AI every day. Some baby steps, some trying something new every day, every day, every day. I do it.
Okay. Yeah. So you keep learning. That's really
I keep learning,
important, I
of
think.
course.
Yeah. And so, what advice can you give to young people who are super passionate about, cybersecurity and the space, and they really want to
Yeah,
make a
you should
change?
try. You should build AI agent,
Okay.
ethical hacker,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, let him participate in the bug bounties.
Okay.
Let him make money for you.
Yeah. That seems like a great idea. Um,
If there are guys who wants to do it with us, come. We have this opportunity to build AI agents who is searching for bugs. We are hiring actually.
okay. Well, I mean,
So you have to know the basic of cybersecurity. You have to know. You have to be passionate about using AI tools.
okay. And let's say, what's your end goal with this? What legacy do you want to leave behind?
I'm not. I'm not. I don't want to retire. Yes.
Yeah, of
uh,
course.
yeah. I'm excited of the industry. Sometimes I'm very upset with the industry, but
Yeah,
generally, I like to be in it. It's like it's very alive. Crypto is very alive industry. Um, yeah, the end goal is bring transparency and accountability
hmm,
to
yeah,
crypto.
yeah.
We're still not there, and
No,
fairness, of course. In crypto industry is still very unfair.
yeah, I think so too. So now, Blitz, I'll just ask you quick questions and you can answer however you want, Dima.
Mhm.
So biggest weakness in the crypto security today.
Human
And anonymous teams, trustworthy or a red flag?
red flag,
More dangerous, smart contracts or social engineering?
social engineering.
Biggest misconception about blockchain security.
That is secure. That the blockchain is secure.
And if you could hack into any system in the world, which one would you pick?
Uh, Russian Federation Secret Service.
I can understand that. And for final question, when the war ends, do you think Hacken will return to Ukraine to rebuild the cybersecurity landscape?
Mhm. I wouldn't say rebuild cybersecurity landscape. I would say we will invest securely in education and into into the business. I don't think that's rebuilding the country should be from the top to bottom. It should be from the bottom to top. So we
Yeah,
don't need to wait for some, I don't know, grants or government contracts. We just
yeah,
need to build business, which is the number one driver, and
yeah,
invest in talents.
yeah. I totally with you on that. So, Dima, thank you for sharing your
Thank you.
insights with us today. I think your contributions have been great so far, and I'm sure you will do amazing things in the blockchain domain. So to our viewers, Hacken has taken cybersecurity to some crazy places, as we've seen, like the legendary aircraft, Mriya. If you could pick any location in the world for the most insane cybersecurity event, where would this be? Please let us know in the comments. The best answer will be published across all social media, and we'll tag the winner. Now, stay secure, and we'll see you again on BSpot Perspectives. Thank you again, Dima.
Ciao.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.